by Sandra Where life is
7 a.m. and it's now time for the Morning Watch. Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live in the First Watch today. Snapshots of news. Vibes Cartel and attorneys Goff and Buchanan on the PNP conference stage. Mercy for the incarcerated. The kerfuffle over the Integrity Commission's recommendation. PNP demands the FID and now the church read Prime Minister Holness's statutory declarations. And in the second watch, risky baptisms, making them safe. For our social media question, we ask, in what circumstances should mercy be shown to the incarcerated? Share your responses in our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp, 876-997-3125 using hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your response later on the program, but first, as I quote.
All right, today's I quote says, "This constant lying is not aimed at making the people believe a lie, but at ensuring that no one believes anything anymore."
I wish we knew who did this I quote. Good morning, Chicago.
Good morning. I wish I knew too, but I mean, here we are.
The First Watch will be back after this break.
Hey, are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive at 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. this Throwback Thursday, September 26th? Well, join me, yours truly, Sarah, and the Chirpy One for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the Juventus segment starts at 1:45, rollover edition. Then Prayer Blast will be at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. To repeat inside pieces of the past, we'll share with you the history of Lady Musgrave Road. So join us, the man. You can learn a thing or two. Then at 3 p.m., we go to music overload. Of course, in a throwback style. All this and more will come alive. 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. this Throwback Thursday, September 26th, on the family station, Love 101. Every Saturday, 7 p.m. to midnight on Love 101. You're invited to travel in time with music at its best. It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me in the
101 will take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul.
Stokeley Marshall, several important stories have hit the headlines recently, but we never got a chance to discuss them. Today we are giving a few of them a little bit of airtime to the extent that time permits. For example, Vibes Cartel and his attorney were on the PNP stage at their annual conference just recently. On another note, another story in relation to showing mercy to the incarcerated, and in terms of another story, a different item of news or items of news in relation to the Integrity Commission's recommendation. The demands of the TNP and the FID, now the church, we're hearing a number of these issues coming to the fore. We have as our guest for this segment Pastor Silver Carr. He's a social commentator and pastor of the Abundant Life Christian Church. Pastor Carr, good morning.
Good morning, Stokeley.
When you were going to, you know, become a pastor, I don't know if you realized you were going to also become a social commentator in the media landscape, sir.
No, I didn't. I didn't realize that.
Well, it has come to pass. It has come to pass. No,
Well, yeah.
Vibes Cartel and his attorney on the PNP conference stage recently. Some persons will express differing views on this. Is it just about popularity? The gentleman has been freed. He is a free man. Why can't he be at any conference, anywhere, doing anything once it is lawful? Some persons will say, well, yes, but, and they might express whatever concerns, as legitimate or as illegitimate as those concerns are, Pastor Carr.
One thing we have to remember is that political animals, for want of a better word, or politicians, will do whatever is necessary to win an election. Sometimes, even when the public image is not good, if it means it will garner votes, they'll do that. So there are two sides to this. One is that this is a free man based on the laws of the land. So he is therefore free to associate with whoever or whichever organization he with. But there's also try to balance that with morality and the fact that the recent history of the person is not something that you would want to embrace immediately, especially as a role model for young persons and for persons who um, are more morally inclined to look for positive kind of leadership. And so, in a sense, it is disappointed for some. But for some persons, them say, well, the man is a free man. The party can choose whoever they want to embrace. So sometimes you can see like politics descending into a morass of um, all kind of things. Remember in the 2010 with the incursion with Dodos and Bruce Golan and Dodos and the association, sometimes it appears that politicians lost some of their moral compass and they will do what is necessary to win or to gain votes or to gain popularity. So those are the things that's coming out there.
Interesting, because even when you mention morality, that can open a can of worms.
Yes,
Because one can argue, well, what is immoral about the gentleman? The gentleman is a free man. He has
yes,
gone to a conference,
yes.
and what issue are you taking with his morality? Someone might even point at you or someone else and say, what makes your morality, better than his? Pastor Carl?
I suppose it's all right. You can look at I'm say the kind of music that he has um put in the society, the influence it has had on people, the negative influence, the positive. I'm saying that one can look at his immediate past um conviction which has been overturned. And what coming out of the case itself, the kind of association he has had, the kind of things that he has done. Not because the court has freed him now. It means that that man is now a moral agent of the society for you to parade him on a political platform. But as I said earlier, politicians will do things that are not necessarily moral, but what in things that will help them to win. Look at America. Donald Trump is parading with a known white supremacist, and it's like it's not a big deal to some people. Well, it's a big deal to others. It's the same equivalent over here. Sometimes politicians don't think about the image and how that the neutral person or the independent thinking person would want the country to be run. Nobody don't want a government that have people like that associated with them. The JLP paid in 2010 because of the Dodos Association. After that, they lost by a landslide in 2012, I believe. So we have to be careful when we do these things because there are consequences to one's actions, always.
You mentioned that Donald Trump is parading with a white supremacist.
A lady named Luma,
Oh,
she wa- she traveled with him to the cemetery, Arlington Cemetery, and she was with him at a particular event prior to that.
and you have evidence that she's a white supremacist.
That's what was reported. I'm quoting from news, and there's no pushback to that. Apparently, it is so.
And in relation to, well, you haven't seen any pushback to that. And in relation to Mr. Carter, Vibes Carter, of course, that is his popular stage name, his name as a
Yeah,
man, rather. Um, the, he has been freed by the courts, which means that legally he is of good character. And
yeah.
if you are now, if legally you are of good character, the
Yeah.
question is, what is the moral issue? Anyway, I leave that one alone for now because there are just so many other
That can be argued
stories.
both sides. It can be argued both sides.
Mercy for the incarcerated, the next issue before we head to the break. Mercy for the incarcerated. And I'll make reference to a story here in one of our newspapers, the Jamaica Observer. And this is dated September 24th, 2024. The Observer. Slickiana's alleged killer suffering from life-threatening medical condition. And there is a picture here of Rashawn Patterson, has been charged in connection with the October 2022 murder of social media influencer Anika Slickiana Townsend. Rashawn Patterson, who has been charged in connection with the October 2022 murder of social media influencer Anika Slickiana Townsend, is receiving treatment for a medical condition, according to his lawyer. In a medical report that was included as part of a bail application made on July 16th, it was stated that Patterson was suspected to be suffering from a case of hemophilia, a condition that prevents the blood from clotting properly. Quote, he was bleeding uncontrollably, defense attorney Dion Mailer Barrett told the Observer online outside the St. James Circuit Court on Monday, adding that Patterson has been responding well to treatment. Your thoughts, Mr. Pastor Carr, because oftentimes when a bail application is made, the medical condition of the person is brought to the fore and shown to the court. Pastor Carr? Mercy for the persons who are. Well, I think we are almost upon a break. Pastor Carr, I'm not sure if we're hearing you at the moment, but I'll
Yeah,
need a little bit more.
I'm hearing you.
Yes, you heard. We're
Yeah.
now upon a break though. We had a difficulty a while ago for some reason. For a moment, a while ago, we weren't hearing you at all. But hold that thought, Pastor Carr, because I know you might have a lot to comment on there. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on this very interesting morning watch. Yes, I'm not. My voice not coming properly to the microphone.
Right, so bring it closer to your mouth. Position it directly in front of you.
Hello.
I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna hear until we go live.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be closer to your mouth.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a famous gamer with viral videos all over the internet. I'm going to be rich. Good thing I'll already know how to take care of my money since mommy got me this Sure Start account.
Open a CIBC Caribbean Sure Start account for your kids and give them a head start on financial smarts with a $1,200 sign-up bonus from us. We believe in their dreams as much as you do, so let's get them going together. Start young, start strong with Sure Start from CIBC.
Crime Stop Jamaica unsolved. 41-year-old Mason Vivian Campbell of Pisces Avenue, Watson Road, Gregory Park, was knocked off his bicycle on Municipal Boulevard near Independence City about 6 a.m. Saturday.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch, the first watch, and we're looking at a snapshot of the news. Vibes Cartel, Mercy for the Incarcerated, and the kerfuffle over the Integrity Commission's recommendation. We have as our guest first watch, social commentator and pastor of the Abundant Life Christian Church, Pastor Silver Carr. Pastor Carr, We had looked earlier on at the whole matter of Vibes Cartel and his counsel appearing at the recent PNP conference, and we then went to look at the whole matter of the accused, the person who is alleged to have murdered social influencer, popularly known as Slickiana, himself now in a situation where he needs medical attention. And before you comment further, Pastor Carr, I'd like to take a quick look at a little bit more of the article. Just before the break, I read he was bleeding uncontrollably. That's a quotation from defense attorney Dion Miller Barrett. The next line goes on to read medical professionals have since indicated that Patterson's condition is life threatening and have recommended that he receive medical attention at hospital. And this is according to the report in the Jamaica Observer dated September 24, 2024. Pastor Carr, please continue. Pastor Carr?
There's an opposition to his bail. That's what the report said.
Well, it didn't say so explicitly, but I'll read a little bit more. He will return to court on October 18th. The expectation is that the date for the post-mortem report and DNA results will be ready, and it continues to outline other things concerning the case. However, it is not uncommon for the Crown to be concerned about about persons having, about persons receiving bail on any relevant for any relevant reason. I'm not totally clear right now as to
Okay.
what is happening there in relation to the prosecution and their position on bail. But what I will read here is on an earlier date, well, on the first bail application date, High Court Justice Andrea Thomas was told by Mailer Barrett that her client's health and safety was at risk if he remained in custody. The lawyer told the court then that her client had reported that pieces of glass were found in a bowl of porridge provided to him as part of his daily meal while in custody. So you see, he's complaining that he's being, treated in a particular way. However, the bail application was denied as Justice Thomas argued that given Patterson's accounts to the police surrounding Townsend's whereabouts, as the same person, Svikiana, concerning Miss Townsend's whereabouts prior to her body being found, he may not return to court if given bail. In the second bail application, Mailer Barrett told High Court Judge Justice Judith Pusey that Patterson had secured a no evidence motion from halfway through criminal court in relation to an unrelated assault case from 2018 in which he reportedly attacked a woman in a jealous rage. However, Justice Pusey denied that bail application on the grounds that Patterson could possibly reoffend if granted bail. She also said he was a potential flight risk.
Well, I believe that in a situation where an accused is incarcerated and not well, medical assistance should be rendered. However,
If I could ask you to pause one moment, only because maybe I happen to know as well, because I have worked in the courts as an attorney. Medical assistance is typically provided. In fact, I don't know of a case where it has not been provided. However, there have been complaints sometimes as to the frequency with which it is provided. And in this case, the article goes on to say explicitly, medical professionals have since indicated that Patterson's condition is life-threatening and have recommended that he receive medical attention at hospital.
yeah,
A lockup or a prison is not a hospital.
yeah. What if that is so? Then I don't think there's a human option. I mean, if somebody is that situation is life threatening, then the state would have to do what is necessary, put him in a hospital, put him under a police guard, and try to preserve his life. Irrespective of what he has done, there must be mercy. There must be a certain amount of compassion for another human being. And I mean, that is what the Bible says. And we are, as Christians, we are instructed by the word of God. And I can't do but otherwise to say that they should provide hospital care for him.
Interesting, interesting. I think maybe, well, I don't know what will happen going forward, but we have heard. But so the general point you're making is that regardless of the circumstances, the
Yes,
accommodation should be made.
yes. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Okay, but let's see what happens on the next day. The matter goes to court, or if anything might be done before that, in case there is some other form of intervention. Never enough time on the morning watch. We move quickly to the Integrity Commission's recommendation, and we have heard what is being described as the kerfuffle in relation to the Integrity Commission and government lawmakers recently indicated that the Integrity Commission ought to certify, the statutory declarations of the Prime Minister, and we have heard criticism in relation to, how certain matters are being treated with Pastor Carr. In fact, there's a item of news in one of today's daily newspapers, and it's here. King's Counsel Andre Earl, um, you know, the headline reads, "He is in error. Legal experts voice concerns on Chuck's charge to Integrity Commission regarding Holness's declarations." And it reads a little bit here. Amid the ongoing debate over the referral of Prime Minister Andrew Holness's financial affairs for further proof, legal experts are offering differing views on Justice Minister Delroy Chuck's charge that the Integrity Commission should be ordered to certify the head of government statutory declaration. Speaking with the Gleaner yesterday, Attorney at Law Andre Earl, King's Counsel, argued that Chuck erred in his stance taken during a meeting of the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee at Gordon House on Tuesday. Pastor Carr, are you muted, Pastor Carr?
Yes, yes. All right. Let me just start by saying that the culture, Jamaica have a culture of corruption. We are way up on the international index of one of the countries that has a lot of corruption. The Integrity Commission was set up to monitor those in Parliament and in the public sector to ensure that their wealth, their earnings, whatever, there's not a mismatch between what you earn and what you own. Now, there are some issues relating to the report. One, that it was submitted incomplete. But the commission said that there are some issues relating to some money transaction are part of the Prime Minister's declaration that they need to go deeper in. And they want the FID to do that. There, what my problem is, the FID report to the Minister of Finance, who report to the Prime Minister. That is going to be an awkward thing to do. Maybe the IC should be a creature created by the Constitution to be out of the tentacles of the politician, because it is there to monitor them. So I don't know how this is going to end up, because it doesn't look good as a head of state. And I think the last two or three of his submissions to the commission has not been certified. It don't look good. It does look something about it. I'm not going to assume that anybody is trying to create mischief. These are professionals that were appointed to look into financial matters, as matters of wealth creation relating to public official, which is more than needed in Jamaica, because the average person in Jamaica know how Jamaica run.
Pastor Carr, the Jamaica Council of Churches recently came out and indicated that, there should not be any politicization of this issue or concern. Your thoughts?
Yeah, but it has been politicized already, because it's in the realm of politics. You are examining politicians, so it is political already. I don't understand that statement.
Understood.
And politicians are going to defend themselves. One side is going to accuse, the other one going to be defend. You should have a body that is not subject to the action of Parliament. Parliament create this body, right? Look at the composition of the committee in Parliament. 6 members opposition of government, 2 members of opposition. That is totally wrong. It should be 7-4-3, something like that. And one of the members them vote not to refer it to the FID. It's becoming a joke. the government said they want to eradicate corruption, but the corruption, the one that relate to themselves, they don't want to be objective and get to the bottom of it because the prime minister. We have to be
Pastor
more
Paul,
honest on that. We need to be honest.
we may need to leave it there this morning because our chat
Yes.
is now completely and totally out of time. I want to thank you for your time and for your thoughts. Very
We need,
interesting
we need,
discussion with you this morning, sir.
we need to continue it because we don't have enough time.
Understood, sir. Thank you, Pastor Carl. Listen, please
Thank
stay with
you,
us with
sir.
the back of the morning
Master.
one.
Thank you. And
Thank you,
listen.
Pastor Carl. Thank
God
you.
bless.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Gen Bank is
7:30.
Tell your family and friend them abroad. And the quick way we send credit back a yard. Tap your up with a quick right here and ding. A easy way to send gift card to the bill. In an instant, we get it. Skip the lock, tap your lights, windy. After loading, you win.
Skip the long can be a life for high speeds with things. Tell your family and friends overseas. The easy way to send a credit or a gift card for just about everything. All I'm saying, you support me for 30% off. Download the app. Send it with things. I am so happy for back to school. Oh wow, getting back to a quiet house comes at a price, right? Flo knows how to easy walk from back to school. With a $15,000 gift card to help take care of your back to school expenses and a free school bag. The books are going to carry themselves, right? Make back to school easier and sign up for Yard and Road. Get internet at home and mobile on the go for only $5,300 plus GZT. Flo Yard and Road makes every day better. Visit a Flo store today, conditions apply. Get ready for a vintage glam affair at the 8th edition of the Sterling Gospel Music Awards, Saturday, October 5 at the fully air-conditioned Emmanuel Apostolic Church, 12 Clark Road in Kingston. Red carpet 5 p.m., showtime 7 p.m. sharp. Get your tickets at Fontana, Waterloo, Portmore, or Mandeville, or online at spuropen.com. $5,000 pre-sold, $6,000 at the gate. Children 12 and under, $1,800. Lap infants are free. It's the 8th Sterling Gospel Music Awards, Saturday, October 5, Emmanuel Apostolic Church in Kingston. Recognizing talent, rewarding excellence.
Happy for Grace Artie, that's a flavor. Grace Artie, with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with the pop, that's a the winner. Shop on supermarket, everybody selling. You all of them nice. Pass the mark, me push it.
Pick up Grace sardines with peppers, vegetable oil, water, and olive oil with peppers.
Cook it up, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Shake it up, spice it up, make it simmer. Grace Artie, get the better flavor. Quick and easy as a 20, ready.
Grace sardines, follow the better flavor.
Remember, every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan. With J&Bank, anything possible with a little savings in your hand. Save so you can build the house, buy the land. You have goals and dreams like a plan. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless. But saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your Gen Bank savings, you absolutely can. Gen Bank, we help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have among the various news stories, Luke Jamaica News. Flash flood watch further extended for 10 parishes. That according to the Met Office. And that story from 2 hours ago. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica has extended the flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas of southern and northwestern parishes until 12 p.m. on Thursday, that being today. The affected parishes are St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James. We turn now to the Jamaica Observer. Headline here, Firearms Folly. Court of Appeal to urge parliamentarians to review gun law. This story by Alicia Dunkley Willis. Appeal Court President Marva I believe it's Marvia actually. Marvia McDonald Bishop says there will be a full court sitting soon to hammer out issues with aspects of the new Firearms Act, which have been proving a pain to lawyers and judges alike. We go now to the Jamaica Gleaner, and this is in relation to one of the items of news we looked at in the first watch. This headline reads, "He is in error. Legal experts voice concerns." I'm so sorry. Legal experts voice opinions on Chuck's charge to Integrity Commission regarding Holness's declarations. And this story by Edmund Campbell. And there's a photograph here of Andre Earl King's counsel, and he expressed his views in relation to the matter. Those and many other stories in our various news sources. And of course, coming up next, we'll revisit the feedback from our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp question, which is, in what circumstances should mercy be shown to the incarcerated? If you haven't done so yet, leave your responses in our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Are you longing to hear a good love story? Well, this Thursday, join Dr. Colleen Beckers inside the Love Zone with guests.
Any responses? Yes or no? No.
Lift Your Spirit programs and features for growth and development. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
Hey, are you ready for another exciting showings on a live 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. this throwback Thursday, September 26th? Well, join me, yours truly, Sarah Ann, with Jeffrey Broad for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the latest event site at 1:55. Roll the tradition, then for your blast. Get you up as we bring in the prayer bells of heaven. Do the Phoenix Agnes of the past. We share with you the history of Lady Musgrave Road. So sure that's the man. You can learn that in our too. Then at 3 p.m., we go to music overload. Of course, in a throwback style. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. this throwback Thursday, September 26th on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Now for your responses to our social media question. In what circumstances should mercy be shown to the incarcerated, Chicago?
All right, so we have a response here. This one is from ever so faithful Cherry in Spanish Town. Cherry says politicians must remember that we do or well, they must remember that what we do or say cannot be retracted and have a way to come back at us one day. We also have another response from our YouTube, our streaming actually. It says, yes, mercy should be shown to the incarcerated. Just as in the beginning, allowing the person to serve their time in prison is a sort of mercy because he could have been subjected to jungle justice. Therefore, continue to extend mercy. It's the humane thing for a just society.
The
And those are our responses.
second comment is very interesting.
Yes.
That's a very interesting comment. That second one could have been subjected to jungle justice. No comment on that at the moment. The first response seems to be more in relation to the discussion we had in the first watch on the Integrity Commission. Very interesting. Well, we
Yes.
move right into the second watch. Baptism is not only a religious tradition in Jamaica, it's a rite, a given, an event. Well, it's certainly a central pillar of the Christian faith. And for many, the ritual can't be done anywhere but in a river or in other open waters. It can be done, or some have done it at night or in the day. Some churches have baptismal pools, of course. Many who will be dipped, and those doing the dipping might not know that much or not know enough about safety in the water it is being indicated. And after all, maybe persons, they're standing at a particular height, maybe the water is maybe at their waist, etc. And well, there was at least one recent incident where, someone was feared to have, died during baptism. And the question being raised, at least by one individual, is whether or not we should begin to look at regulating the practice of baptism in the church. This could be quite an interesting conversation. We have as our guest today Michael Diamond, President of Consumers Intervention Jamaica. He's also a lawyer, and we also have Pastor Dion Lindo Witter, pastor of the Shalom Deliverance Center, Mineral Heights, Karen. And good morning, Pastor. Good morning, Mr. Diamond.
Good morning, Sir Stokeley, and of course, good morning to your listeners.
Now, Mr. Diamond, I'll start with you because there is an article in I think it's actually dated just yesterday, the 25th of September. The headline is the case for baptism permits in Jamaica, and or rather, it's a letter to the editor. A letter to the editor penned by your good self, Mr. Diamond, as former Commissioner, CARICOM Review Commission, and President, Consumers Intervention of Jamaica, CIJ. I'll read a little bit of it because, never enough time on the morning watch, and we do have another guest on in this segment to get her views as well. Dear editor, baptism is a significant ritual in many religious traditions, symbolizing purification and the initiation of individuals into a faith community. In Jamaica, where the traditional baptism often takes place in natural bodies of water, such as rivers and beaches, ensuring the safety of participants should be a paramount concern, rather, given most recent and past incidents. And you go on, Mr. Diamond, elsewhere in the article to speak, for example, implementing a permits/licensing system that will provide a framework for accountability among religious organizations performing baptisms by requiring that ministers or churches apply for permits, licenses. Authorities can establish regulations regarding where and how baptisms are conducted. And you go on elsewhere to mention, well, the conversation around baptism permits, licenses, and lifeguard presence can raise awareness in all communities about the importance of safety in spiritual practices. Mr. Diamond, would you like to take us through quickly why are you making the case for, is it regulating baptism, or should I'll reference your headline, the case for baptism permits in Jamaica. Why that case?
Okay, well, absolutely. Basically, what has happened is that we're seeing, well, of course, mostly everyone have now seen that video, and it brings to question how truly prepared are individuals to continue to perform this custom. And if in fact we make individuals more accountable, then we can start seeing more safety precautions in place. at least that reservation rather than going into unsafe conditions and putting people's lives at risk. So it's a situation where we need to be more accountable, and perhaps that scheme for accountability may be just that, a permit scheme or a licensing scheme, not as complicated as the title may seem, but some approach that will give, some level of accountability.
Mr. Diamond, just we were upon a break already. We're going to also need to, of course, bring in the views of the pastor, who's also on the segment. We haven't forgotten you at all, Pastor. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Everybody say, follow the better flavor. Time it.
7:45.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank. No waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Don't let freshness ditch you when you need it most. Wash your clothes with Downy Softener to dazzling everyone around you from day to night. Try Downy Softener now.
It's here! Phase 4 of the ban on single-use plastics, taking us one step closer to the goal of a plastic-free Jamaica. The importation,
By the way,
distribution, sale, and use of single-use plastic
because
are
you
now
didn't put the thing up there.
Let's
So you just put all the I will let up on the camera. I'm just ask. Are you Linda Witter rather? Are you muted? Are you muted?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here.
Pastor Dion Linda Witter, your thoughts.
Okay. I just want to first to bring some clarification to the matter of baptism. In the Christian faith, baptism doesn't really is not represented as purifying the believer. Um, the believer is purified and saved through the blood of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and baptism is a is an identification.
An outward sign,
Um,
like an outward sign. Oh,
right. It's an identification with our Lord. He himself was baptized, and he left instructions for us to baptize. And so it's not a ritual; it's an ordinance.
the act in itself doesn't purify you.
It doesn't purify. We are not cleansed by water. We are cleansed by the blood of Jesus Christ.
And for clarity, Pastor Linda Whittle, my understanding of it, if I could say my theology or my own doctrinal understanding, is consistent with what you just said. Continue, Pastor Linda Whittle.
Okay, so in terms of the laws and or policing in a sense, baptism, uh, I there are various ways and means that people are baptized. Some persons sprinkle water on some persons, and even persons who may be at home, they have given their heart to the Lord and they can't leave their bed and so on. Different measures have to put in place to initiate them in the baptism process. Um, I must say that I believe that churches have exercised due caution in baptizing people, and it is thus ironical that a million baptism took place without any mishap, and then one mishap, and it seems to represent how baptisms are being done. It's very unfortunate the incident that took place the other day, and I do agree that due caution must be taken, um, especially when you're going into the natural, like into the sea, in rivers and so on.
Yes, yes.
Due diligence should be taken. Maybe the area should be examined first before the baptism day and so on. But the idea of getting a license, because as I listened, I thought to myself that um, there are many licensed motorists on the road, but it doesn't stop motor vehicle accidents. Because the idea of the license would have to be clarified. As to what would be the rationale. Is it to prevent an accident? I'm not sure.
Pastor Linda
Sorry.
Whittle, before, well, you're coming in, Mr. Diamond, because I want to
Yeah, so
reference.
because I
Want
do
to
share that
go
same,
ahead.
go ahead. I do share that same concern regarding what a license would look like. Considering the fact that when individuals are keeping certain events, they would actually go to the police to get a permit to keep that event. It would be something very similar and very quick. And what it would identify is just that location, individuals that's going to participate, and the experience of the person that would be officiating. What is happening here is we don't want a situation where just anybody or anyone to be just be performing these particular practices and jeopardizing individuals' lives. We have
Right.
seen in the past where even
Only because of time, Mr. Diamond, I want to ask a quick question because I want to reference something else as well. What if the permit is denied?
and that's the thing. If the permit is denied, it would be what grounds is it being denied on? Because remember, the premise here is that there has to be
Then
some.
you might be getting someone like Pastor Linda into a legal issue now, a legal debacle with the authorities about why they denied a permit. You could end up in
Well,
court.
absolutely not. Because if someone is telling you that the area that you have selected is known for flash flooding or it's unstable, even for individuals to gather on the banking of that river, then how then can you go ahead and says, regardless of the risk, I'm willing to go again? And just a quick note
Yeah.
from the video recently, that same individual in that video have stated that he would go back right now to that very spot to continue doing the same thing, even though what occurred was because the currents were very strong. So these are the type of behaviors that we definitely want to discourage, and such a scheme would help to rein in this type of recklessness.
When you say raining, it sounds as if it's common, but Pastor Linda Witter made it very clear that this one incident, which is probably
Interesting, and
isolated.
that's the thing. We have to be very mindful that we can't really wait until things get out of hand. We have seen too many examples of it. Just recently in 2002, there was an individual who, while conducting a baptism, lost his life. And the thing about it is that we don't want a situation
Incident
because
was that? Which incident was that?
that's the incident that was in Bagua.
You
Mr.
have reference to that report right now?
Absolutely. This happened back in, the person name is Wilford Willis. This is on December 18th in 2022. This happened in Bagua. While he was performing the baptism, it was basically he, they say that he drowned, but he was also
And,
possibly could have been
and
electrocuted by the microphone that he was utilizing at the time. So,
and
there are
not
different
saying that your
levels.
concerns aren't not saying that your concerns aren't valid, but you believe that what could amount to isolated incidents, as serious as they were or are, you believe that that would require an entire scheme of regulating. Uh,
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what we have here is that we have seen in the past where individuals whom have not gotten proper training, not been to theological schools, performing and conducting services, and it has been very detrimental to individuals who want to practice their faith. And I've seen incidences where even the Council of Churches would call upon that, you know what, maybe we need to regulate that only
only because
individuals
of
who are
time.
properly.
Only because of time. So, what would the penalties look like to you? Prison time would be
And that's the
included in
thing.
it.
Uh, the thing is, that is something that we would all have to get together collectively to
So
see how this would work. Because
you go on
this,
to lock up the pastor because he didn't get a permit.
hey, guess what? When you officiate, I
I'm
mean,
just
not you
asking
in a
if
sense,
yes
but
or no, yes or
when an
no.
individual does something and a life is lost, that liability cannot just be
No,
left on you.
even if no life is lost, but the person just doesn't have the permit. The person was baptized and nothing went wrong. But the police passed by. Should the person be locked up for not having a permit?
Not the problem. I would say that locking an individual up is not going to be. I don't imagine that would be a charge or a penalty. A fine, definitely a fine. But
I
what would
want
be
to reference something quickly because never enough time on the morning watch. I think we have about maybe 2 minutes left. There is an article that I located online. It is from Fox News, Todd's American Dispatch. Feds forced churches to get baptism permits. It was written by Todd Starnes, published August 30th, 2030, updated May 8th, 2015. Among the things it says are as follows. For as far back as anyone can remember, Missouri Baptists have gathered on riverbanks for Sunday afternoon baptisms. It goes on to read, I'm skipping some of the lines because of time. National Park Service began enforcing a policy recently that required churches to obtain special use permits in order to baptize in public waters. As, as part of the same permit process, the NPS also mandates that churches give the Park Service 48 hours advance notice of pending baptisms. It goes on to read that, among other things, the same obligations are not placed on persons who wish to, for example, go for a swim, but yet the church was being regulated in this way. This policy was eventually rolled back because of pushback from the public. There's a part of it where it says in 2011, a church's beach baptism was shut down by lifeguards in Miami. Pastor, any comments? And then Mr. Diamond, if we have any time left, and then we wrap because I see we're almost totally out of time. Pastor?
Okay. I can hear, I can identify a trend in these articles. Number one, it seems as if the concern is about the use of the public spaces, um, and even Mr. Diamond was that the regulation he was referring to or inferring is that the persons who are conducting the right, that they should be trained and so on. And I don't believe
You
that the,
believe that
the
only
church,
because of time pastor, should there be regulation? Yes or no?
it is not necessary.
Not necessarily. I think we have to leave it there today, Pastor and Mr. Diamond, because we're completely out of time. I'm getting us done
Okay.
already. I want to thank you, Mr. Diamond and Pastor Linda Witter, for being with us in this second watch. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us
Always a
again
pleasure.
as we look at our topical and controversial issues. Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Visit the Love 101 FM
YouTube channel and Facebook page for this, and now on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. Listen to the Morning Watch on our Love 101 app. Download it today and stay connected to the family station, Love 101 FM, the number one gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer Kathy Gale and to our guest, John Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint, next week as he looks at other topical and controversial issues. That's next week, Tuesday. I am Stokeley Marshall, handing you back to Love in the Morning with the Sugar.
As the news records and we are committed to the values of care, compassion, excellence in service, integrity,